Hi there! Today we're going to discuss one of the most important topics for all English learners. Stuff that you're dying to know about. How to speak fast and how to understand native speakers. And I'm going to tell you right now, even before we start, the secret is pronunciation and vocabulary. So stay tuned for all of the tips and tricks and my personal secrets. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications because you definitely don't want to miss the next one.
Everything's in English.
All you need to know.
Alright, how did you learn to speak English?
So here's the problem. Non-native speakers usually speak in a very stiff, formal, academic manner, following, the rules that they learned from their textbooks. However, native speakers do not speak like that. They really don't. Everything is very simple. Stuff is shorter, easier, there's a lot of slang, and stuff like that. So let's look at exactly how they do it. So the first thing in our agenda is reduced forms. Now, I'm sure you all noticed and you've heard it before on your favorite TV shows, movies, and YouTube videos. A lot of people say things like wanna. What is wanna? Wanna is just a short, informal version of want to and sometimes wants to. You know another one? I'll wait. Is there a version of going to that you know? Yes, correct. It's gonna. Pay attention and look for those reduced forms when you're watching TV and your YouTube videos and stuff like that. And play around with them. Use them. That's your first step to sounding like a native speaker.
We're gonna die! We're gonna die!
It's also very common to create short forms by combining two separate words, like I am is gonna turn into I'm. We are is gonna turn into we're. I will is gonna turn into I'll. We would is gonna turn into we'd. Weed. Somehow that sounds wrong, but it's also grammatically correct. There's also shorter versions of your common words and phrases, like thank you. You can just say thanks. Informal, short and sweet. Instead of saying congratulations, you can say congrats. Some people replace the word totally and say totes. So definitely feel free to play around with all of that. It's very important our goal is to be as natural as possible. And there's nothing more natural than that. Of course, you need to remember to avoid all of that in your formal writing. We definitely don't want to see any of that in your job applications or college essays. So, you definitely need to understand there's time and place for those things, and any kind of formal writing, not the time nor the place.
Totes! Can't wait!
Another important thing to know about is fillers. So what fillers are, it's certain sounds, words, and phrases that people use to buy some time. If you need to think about something and you don't wanna just stand there and be silent and look around and look at people and, blush. You wanna, actively speak throughout your moments when you have to think. So that's where the fillers come in. It could be sounds like or words like well, actually, basically, anyway. Or phrases like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? In fact, I mean, by the way. And when you learn all of those things, you actually develop two important skills. The first skill is to remember to kind of listen around them when someone else is talking, because you know that they don't really add any value to the statement and the idea and the meaning. And you can also use them yourself to be more natural and to buy yourself some time when you need to think.
Anyway.
If you're very passionate about expanding your vocabulary and breaking down the language barrier and being more fluent, definitely check out our online course From Intermediate to Advanced in 30 days. You can gain up to 2 levels in just 30 days. Pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna leave the link in the description box. Check it out, sign up, and I hope to see you there. Let's work. So the next thing you want to pay attention to is phrasal verbs and idioms. A lot of people don't learn them because, well, there's two main reasons. The first one is your teachers told you that it's unacceptable and it's not proper and you don't need them, which is wrong. Very, very incorrect. And the second main reason is kind of the opposite. You know, it's important, you know, you need it, but there's just so much of it and you get stuck and you get confused and you don't even know where to start and where to go, and that's okay. The only way to actually master them, to really master them, is to know exactly what they mean and practice them. Practice them in action. Find a phrasal verb. Let's say today you're learning get along with. To get along with someone means to have a friendly relationship, to be friendly, and to, you know, develop a nice relationship with someone.
We should all hang out. We should totally hang out.
So you take that phrasal verb and you say to yourself, okay, today, whenever I get the chance to practice and speak English, I'm gonna try to use this phrasal verb as much as I can, and then find a new one every single day. And that's how you win. You see, all of those things make you sound more natural, and that's exactly what we want. And we've covered a lot of phrasal verbs and idioms on this channel, so definitely click the channel name and check it out. When you're learning new words, definitely don't forget about pronunciation. It's very important. You know, sometimes we get too lazy and we don't even check the pronunciation, and also this phonetic stuff is very boring and it's a lot to learn and we don't really want to do that, but it's very important. Very, very important, because it's definitely way easier for you to learn a word in the correct way first, as opposed to learning it however and then correcting your mistakes. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just harder to do, the latter. So definitely, you know, when you see a new word, check it out, Google it, you know, hit the little speaker button, hear it a couple of times, try to say it, and really, really remember. And it's very crucial because when people talk to you, those words tend to jump out, even if the person is speaking too fast. Those words jump out right away. And when you have a statement that you don't really understand, but you have a few keywords, you can kind of put them together in your head and figure out what the meaning of the whole sentence was without knowing the exact words in between. So let's quickly test our pronunciation skills. How would you say the word on the screen right now?
Welcome to the Duff Brewery.
Okay, what about this one?
To the library!
Okay, and the last one?
Clothes.
And I know a lot of you are well on your way and you've been learning English for quite some time, and there is a chance that some of the words that you know and use, you don't have the right pronunciation for. And it's very easy to correct your mistakes. I mean, it's not very easy, I'm lying. It's not very easy, but it's doable. Record yourself. Talk about something and put your phone down until the next day. And then listen back, focus on the pronunciation. See if you can actually figure out what makes you sound like a non-native speaker. What could you possibly, you know, just random ideas. What could you, if you had to guess, what could you possibly do differently to sound more like a native speaker? Speaking of accents, there's nothing wrong with having an accent. And first of all, let's draw the line here. You have an accent when your native language is something else other than English. And then you speak English, you tend to bring those phonetic aspects and sounds from your native language into English. That's an accent. When your native language is English and you speak English, it's called a dialect. So British dialect, American dialect, Australian dialect. So if your goal is to sound like a native speaker, the first step should be finding what that native speaker is. Pick one. British, Irish, Australian, American, whatever sounds the best to you. Now, I personally think that American, well, I mean, I live here and that's what I speak and that's what I teach, but it doesn't change the fact that American is way easier to learn as far as the pronunciation and the sounds. However, you know, do whatever your heart desires and find the one that sounds the best to you.
Oh, can I be Australian, mate?
Aside from the sounds, the tone of your voice and your delivery also matters a great deal. Now, I can deliver two different messages using the same words, just by changing the tone of my voice. It's so cold. It's really freezing, right? Yeah, it's so cold. Now, that sounds like it's actually the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention. And unfortunately, it's not something that anyone can teach you. It's something that you really need to pay attention to and focus on when you listen to someone talk or when you listen to English in general. Pause, repeat, pause, repeat. Try to analyze, do some detective work, try to analyze. What are they doing to deliver it like that? What is it about the line and their delivery that makes it sound like that? Really, really think about it.
It's so cold out here.
And last but not least, don't try to be perfect. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Guys, this is a very important one. Obviously, we learn English, right? It's a learning process. Because of that, you know, there's a lot of ego wrapped up in it. And, you know, if I make a mistake, because I learned it, if I make a mistake, people think I'm stupid. You know, people laugh at me because, you know, I'm trying to learn their language and I'm failing, whatever the case may be. Don't worry about it. Don't try to be perfect. English is not science. It's more like art. It's a way to express yourself that is different from what you were born with. It's art. And art never comes out of a very clean, organized, and perfect place. Art is messy, and it's okay. Make mistakes. Learn from them.
That's okay, honey. Everybody makes mistakes.
If you try to be perfect and every time you have a chance to talk, you're like, I'm not gonna say anything unless it's correct. So you doubt yourself and you end up not saying a single word. If you try to be perfect, you don't speak, you don't grow. And we all wanna grow, right? Make mistakes. You make a mistake, you realize it, you remember it forever. And you never ever make the same mistake again. Don't take yourself too seriously. Ask people to repeat. Don't be afraid to admit that you forgot a word. Perfection is not what you're looking for. It's real, raw expression. Make it messy. Don't be afraid to make a mess. And so my final advice, start speaking English right now. Right now. Use all the tips that I gave you in this video and just do it. Take that step and you will be so grateful that you did. Let me know down below which one you found the most useful for yourself right now. And of course, I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Good luck. Bye-bye.